Srimati Radharani. We can never get tired of Srimati Radharani because she's ever sweet and ever fresh. Yesterday we heard about Radha Tattva a little bit, and we also heard the appearance of Srimati Radharani. So what happens after Radharani's appearance? Her childhood pastimes, right? So that's what we're going to hear today. The childhood pastimes of Srimati Radharani, and then sometime, I guess following morning, we'll hear the merciful pastimes of Radharani. Don't miss it. She's very merciful. You'll be inspired. The childhood pastimes start, as I shared yesterday for the Radhastami program, with Narada Muni's visit. Remember? Narada Muni had his first darshan of Srimati Radharani as a little baby. So what we heard was Narada Muni understood Krishna has descended on earth once in a day of Brahma. Remember, that was a big number. 4,320,000,000. You remember. You're good at math afterwards. In any case. So, Narada Muni goes to Boma Vrindavan, and he makes a straight connection to Nanda Maharaj's palace, and he has the opportunity to have darshan of Krishna in his baby form. Remember, in Goloka, there's the mood of Krishna's childhood pastimes, but not the manifestation of Krishna's. There's no birth of Krishna in Goloka. In fact, what Rupa Goswami describes is Krishna is eternally 16. Doesn't get old, doesn't get young. There's somebody asked this question just this morning. What about the elders? Like, his parents. How does that work? It's the same answer. They're eternally, whatever the age is of his parents. I don't know that number, but they're eternally like that. Radharani has a fixed age. Each of the gopis has a fixed age. Down, Rupa Goswami gives it down to the days. There's this many years and those many days. Eternally. So there's no birth pastime in Goloka. Although Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, they know, you're not going to tell them otherwise, Radharani is their daughter. And Mother Jasoda and Nanda Maharaj, they know Krishna is their son, although there's no birth pastime. It's a transcendental bhava. Eternally. So, Narada is getting an opportunity to see Krishna's little baby form. And some nice paintings of Krishna's little baby form. Of course, right after he's born, he doesn't have a head of hair like that, no peacock feather, but that's okay. A little baby form. And he understands, since Krishna has appeared, that means Radharani has appeared. So he wants to have darshan of Radharani in her little baby form. We heard yesterday, what does he do? He has a strategy. He goes to the homes of householders that have newborn children and offers to give blessings to those newborn children. And he gives blessings, he means it, he gives his blessings to them. But no Radharani until he comes to the home of Vrishabhanu. Vrishabhanu receives him very nicely, and they introduce Narada Muni to their son. And does anybody remember the name of their son? Of course you remember. Sridham. Sridham. Very good. So he gives his blessings to Sridham and is ready to leave, and Vrishabhanu stops him and informs him, I didn't say because this daughter wasn't born of us, and I'm a little embarrassed, but she's blind, deaf, and dumb. So because you're a sadhu, maybe you know how to make her well again. So Narada's interested. They take her to the room where she's resting, little baby, Radha. And as soon as he walks in the room, he feels transcendental ecstasy. So he says, I have mantras, and they'll take some time, and it has to be done privately because they're secret mantras. So we'll have to close the door. No problem. So as soon as they close the door, he pays his obeisance to Radharani and gets all his paraphernalia for the mantra and puja and yagya, and he makes arti to Radharani in her little baby form and worships her to his heart's content. And when he exits the room, he informs Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, the mantras have been chanted. There's one more procedure. You have to hold a big festival in honor of this newborn child of yours. Make it a very nice, elaborate festival. Invite all the other Vrajbasis. Make sure to invite Nanda and Jasoda and have them bring Krishna to him. He's a wonderful child. I just met them. So they think that's a wonderful idea. And now we hear how Radharani opens her eyes. During this big festival, in honor of a newborn baby girl, everyone, the adults are very busy doing what adults do when there's a big festival. They're mixing with one another and very happy and festive and so forth. And Krishna has attended. He also goes to the festival with Nanda, Jasoda, and Balaram. Now, this painting shows Krishna's walking. He's not walking yet. He's just crawling because he's also newborn. And he started crawling soon. But anyway, when they reached there, the adults were busy with adult activities, and Krishna crawled his way into Radharani's room, crawled his way to the crib, and as soon as he reached over the edge of the crib, Radharani opened her eyes. Radharani called out in a loud, happy voice. So she's no longer blind, she's no longer dumb, and she can hear Krishna's very happy smiles. And so this is Narada Muni's first darshan of Radha, and Radharani's becoming fully restored by the mercy of Narada Muni, by the mercy of Krishna. So when Radharani cries out, they hear. Those of you that are parents and had small children, when your child cries, you know exactly what that means. You go running. And sure enough, Radharani's eyes were wide open and she was smiling and everything was very nice. Oh, Narada Muni, his mantras worked. We're so fortunate that he visited us. So that's the first part of Radharani's childhood pastimes. And of course, as time passed, there were other young girls, a number of gopis. We heard around the same time, a number of young girls were born in Braja around the same time as Radharani. She had many friends, and she, in course of time, as a young girl, she gets a boon from Durvasa Muni. But before that boon happens, in the palace of Vrishabhanu, Radharani passed her time with her dear friends. Here's a nice peacock. Here's some birds. And all the other residents of Vrindavan are very dear to Radha. And Radha is very dear to them. And, little mischievous, but very sweet, very adorable, very beautiful. And she enjoys with her friends, doing what little girls do. Here they're in a garden with some flowers and dancing and playing like little girls will do. Here they're making some flower garlands for decorating their deities at home. And one fine day, Durvasa Muni visits Vrindavan. And there's two versions. One version is he came straight to Vrishabhanu's palace. And the version I'm accustomed to and I like even better is the gopis were walking through a field. I'll narrate that one. They're walking through a field, and who should they see but Durvasa Muni? So they went running to pay their obeisances to Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was very pleased with their celebrating, seeing him, and he then made a request for some service. He said, I'm very hungry. I've been fasting for days. Can you arrange for some meal for me? And the gopis said, well, we're off in a field, but we can run back to our homes and prepare something and come back very quickly. And Durvasa Muni said, you don't understand. I'm hungry and I want something right now. So the gopis looked at each other, and they looked at Radharani, and Radharani started preparing something from the dust of Vrindavan, mixed with some water. She made some Vrindavan biscuits. And when the biscuits were ready, they gave them to Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni said, what? You expect me to eat this? And the gopis said, you don't understand. Radharani is very, very capable, very clever. Try, just one, just try a bite. He looked at Radharani, looked at the biscuits, looked at Radharani, looked at the biscuits. He took a bite. And it was so good. Unbelievably good. He ate all the biscuits. And he then gave a blessing to Radharani, which we're going to hear shortly. But the other version, that's what you see on the screen, he went to the palace of Vrishabhanu, and when the gopis saw Durvasa Muni, it was like, oh, they skedaddled. Look out, here comes Durvasa Muni. And Radharani wasn't afraid, and she remained with her palms folded, offering obeisances and respects to Durvasa Muni, requested some service. And he was very pleased with her mood and very pleased with her beauty, young girl. And he asked for something to eat. And so Radharani immediately prepared sweet rice. And it gives like all these very interesting ingredients. Some of them are standard and some of them are I've never heard before. Some people here know what Tej Pata is? Yeah? You know what it is. Okay. I'm not a cook. Elachi? Is that pronounced properly? Huh? Cardamom. Okay. Okay. And other ingredients. Okay. So she prepared. and offered to Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was amazed at her capable cooking, although she's just a young girl. And he gave her the following blessing. So now the stories merge. This is Durvasa Muni's blessing. Whatever your hands touch, whatever you prepare, will taste like nectar. 1. And whoever tastes the food cooked by you will have long life, strength, beauty, fame, which will increase day by day. Good health, everything. So when Durvasa Muni utters a curse, it's pretty serious. When he offers a benediction, it's pretty serious. So Radharani was very happy. She told her mother, this is what Durvasa Muni just said. So her mother was very happy. And her mother, Kirtida, was very good friends with Yashoda. So Kirtida naturally told her good friend Yashoda what happened. Durvasa Muni gave Radharani this benediction. So naturally, what did Mother Yashoda want? She wants Radharani to cook for her son every day. So from the time she was a little girl, she cooked for Krishna every day. Every day. And even when this so-called marriage took place, she cooked for Krishna every day and became a little controversy for Jatiya, that we'll hear some more about that. Mother Jasoda got permission from Kirtida that Radharani would come and cook at her home for Krishna every day. Hare Krishna. So now she's growing up. She's got this benediction from Durvasa Muni. She's going to meet Yashoda. There was, in Yashoda's, in Nandagram, there was a special kitchen just for Radharani to use every morning. So while Nanda Maharaj and Krishna were taking their bath at Pavan Sarovar, we're going to later see some images of Pavan Sarovar. So it's a lake down the hill, and they would take their bath. While they were down there taking their bath, Radharani, with her friends, would come to the kitchen, special kitchen, Radharani's kitchen, and she made breakfast. And this happened every morning. So 2 + 2 still equals 4. Naturally, Mother Jasoda became very attached to Radharani. Here's Nandagram up on the hill, Nandishwara or Nandagram, the place of Nanda Maharaj. And Mother Jasoda began to think, with intense affection that she had for Radha. During Vedic times, young boys and young girls would get married at a young age. They didn't live together, but they were married, so they knew who their husband and wife was for when they became adult. So she was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if Radha and my son Gopal were to marry? You know, mothers. So she just meditated on this, and the desire grew every day. And then one day, in a very playful mood, she made some preparation for haldi, for placing haldi on the hand of Radharani, signifying, I, as the mother, will accept you as my daughter-in-law. And it was, the young gopis were laughing, and Radharani was laughing, and Mother Jasoda was laughing, and she applied the haldi. And when breakfast was over, she started walking back home with her friends. And then kind of sank in. Wait a minute. This is a marriage proposal. And what's my mother and father going to say? Because I didn't speak to them. I mean, they may like it, but it's not right. I didn't even speak to them. So some anxiety started to well up in her heart. As she was walking back from Nandagram to Varsana, she passed by a lake, Pukur, that later became known as Pilipokar. Maybe some of you have been there. It's down the hill, very near Varsana. So she decided she was going to wash off all the haldi before she got home. And this is where the water level is up high. This is where the water level is down low. And this is where there's more algae than both places, both times. So, Pilipokar, nice place. Very, very near to Varsana. And as she was washing the haldi from her hands, the lake became yellowish. And thus the name Pilipokar. And to this day, I'm sure they clean Pokar, but it still has a yellowish tint to it. Now there's two versions of what happens next. And the one that I'm accustomed to, I like very much. By the time Radharani makes it back to her home, news has already gone to Kirtida and Rishabhanu, the news that this marriage proposal has taken place. Although she washed stuff off her hands, they knew, they really liked the idea. They really liked the idea. And so they, to signify that they accept this marriage proposal made by Yasoda, they put a big pile of jewels and ornaments and valuable cloth on a bullock cart and sent the bullock cart back to Nandagram as a gesture of saying we accept. And Nanda and Jasoda were very happy to receive this news. She didn't know that Radharani washed the haldi off her hands or anything, but she got approval by Radharani's parents. But they can't do anything. In Braja, important decisions aren't made without consulting Purnamasi. So when this idea came to Purnamasi, she canceled it. Because how are you going to have Krishna's pastimes with Radha where they're married? So she canceled it. It's not an auspicious time. We can consider it some other time, and everybody by Yogamaya influence forgot everything. So end of story. But there's a further version that some of you may have read some of Shivra Maharaj's writings that carries the story on further. Later that morning, Krishna is going with his cowherd boyfriends, and he passes by Pilipokar, and he sees this yellow tint in the water. He's very curious. How did this happen? And he comes closer and closer and closer, and he's just drawn to immerse himself in the pond. And as he immerses himself into the pond, his bodily complexion becomes golden, like Radharani's bodily complexion. And he looks at his reflection, as you see in this drawing, and he is amazed. And it's the mood, and the mood of Radha, the luster of Radha, as well as the mood of Radha. Who's that? Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya. And here's a very nice graphic. I don't know if you've seen this one before, but there's Lord Chaitanya. Let's see if it works, because sometimes it doesn't work. Lord Chaitanya becoming Srimati Radharani, and Radharani transforming back to Lord Chaitanya. Pretty clever, huh? Whoever made this one. Now, sometimes it just keeps going back and forth, but it's not doing that right now. So let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So there's On the final day, there's six sessions on Radharani. And on the sixth session, we'll discuss were Radha and Krishna married or not married, Parakiya or Swakiya relationship. We're going to go there later after we do all that, because that's a very elevated topic. So in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there's a pastime where Radha and Krishna are married. And the pastime goes like this. Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it's not Bhagavad Purana. But Nanda and Krishna are out in the pasturing ground taking care of the cows, because Krishna liked going with Nanda Maharaj for taking care of the cows. And when they got very, very far from Nandagram, a very intense thunderstorm came, high winds, lots of rain, and Nanda Maharaj was in anxiety. Should he take care of the cows? Should he take care of little Gopal? What to do? You know, sometimes we have decisions. We have to do this or that. You can't do both. It's one of those moments for Nanda. And what should happen at that very moment? But Srimati Radharani came. The pastime is described in Bandiravan. Some of you have been to Vrindavan. You know where Bandiravan is. It's there's a big banyan tree. We'll see the place shortly, Bandiravan. And Radharani came down the path. And somehow Radharani became much taller than she is normally. Nanda Maharaj understood this is a very safe arrangement. I'll arrange for Radharani to go back with Krishna to Nandagram, then I'll take care of the cows. So that's what happened. Radharani and Krishna started walking back together to Nandagram in the midst of the storm. And suddenly, this Puranic description says, Lord Brahma descended with many demigods. And Brahma volunteered, they both accepted, that they had a on-the-spot marriage. Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So, according to Brahma Vaivarta Purana, this is the way, not seen by anyone else. You see at the top, there's demigods showering flowers. Down below is Brahma with the yagya area. And Srimati Radharani and Krishna were married in this way. Now, here's just a drop in the bucket. We'll do some more with part 6. But this is Srila Prabhupada writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 10. When Jiva Goswami was alive, some of his followers disliked the Parakiya rasa of the gopis. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami, for their spiritual benefit, supported Swakiya, for he could understand that the Sahajiyas would otherwise exploit Parakiya rasa as they are actually doing at the present time. Foreseeing this future debauchery, Srila Jiva Goswami supported Swakiya rasa, and later all the Vaishnava acharyas also approved it. Now, many, if not most of the acharyas also spoke strongly in favor of Parakiya. Here's the next paragraph. Srila Jiva Goswami was never opposed to the transcendental Parakiya, meaning distinct from the mundane kind, nor has any other Vaishnava disapproved of it. Srila Jiva Goswami strictly followed his predecessor gurus and Vaishnavas, Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted him, that's Jiva, as one of his instructor gurus. So more on this later. So there's two marriages. One was from Bhavishya Purana, another is from Rupa Goswami's writings. Here's a very nice pastime I think you'll like. This is in the childhood pastime section. Krishna proves Radharani's superior position. Superior to him, superior to his mother, superior to everybody. So the pastime begins like this. Once, being overwhelmed by love, Krishna told Radharani, the essence of worship is to worship you. If someone worships me without worshiping you, he will get no result. You are the Maha Bhavamayi, my pleasure-giving potency. My pleasure is your pleasure. Thus, anyone following your worship is very dear to me. I consider them greater than a yogi or tapasvi. And he goes on. Whoever desires to serve me with devotion should accept your name first from a bona fide spiritual master and chant purely to attain perfection. Then only he'll be eligible to serve me. If one chants Radha Krishna together, I will be controlled by that most fortunate person. So Radharani is hearing all these things and encouraging persons to take shelter of Radharani's lotus feet. He goes on, you are the chief among all Gopa Ganas. You are greater even than Yasamati. What? Radharani laughed and said, your character is like a debauchee. I do not believe your words. Yasamati is your dear mother. How can you say that I'm greater than her? What is the reason? Krishna replies, very soon you will see, even if she is saying that you are her daughter, very soon you will see that she will come to catch hold of your feet. So that's the introduction to the pastime. And here's the rest of the pastime. One day, one day, some of the Braja Gopikas brought Radha and Krishna to one house to have fun. They were deriving great pleasure by uniting Radha Krishna. All of the gopis were making Krishna dance in the courtyard of the house and were chanting and dancing with him. At that time, Yasomati reached there. When she saw the gopis were dancing with Krishna, she became angry and said to Radharani and her Sakis, what kind of behavior is this? My Gopal spends the day grazing cows. He's very tired and needs his rest. But you have disturbed his sleep and brought him here to play. Here you are making him dance. And I know you all do this every day. This is not good at all. Do not do it again. Radharani did not respond. The Sakis said to Yasomati, your son Gopal is a cowherd boy. He becomes tired by wandering in the forest and grazing cows, and is now sleeping in his bed. This Krishna is not your son. Your son's name is Krishna, yes, but that does not mean that there's no one else with the name Krishna in this world. Go to your house and see. Maybe your son is still sleeping there. After hearing this from the Sakis, Mother Yashoda was surprised. There may very well be more than one boy named Krishna, but how is it possible that they would have the same features? Still, as the Sakis suggested, she returned to her house to check on her Gopal. When Yasomati arrived, she was surprised to see that the words of the Sakis were correct. Her son Krishna was sleeping on the bed. She was bewildered to see this, but at the same time she was feeling very happy also. She immediately went back to the place where the Sakis were playing with the other Krishna. Yashoda said, "Oh Sakis, please listen to me. Where did you find this Krishna who looks exactly like my son Krishna? Both are the same age. They have the same features and physique. They walk the same way, speak the same way, and behave the same way. Their bodily color is the same. By seeing your Krishna, I'm feeling satisfaction in my heart. I am feeling so much affection towards him. You all come to my house along with your Krishna. We will unite both Krishnas together and make them dance together. Everyone will be happy to see their dance. We can establish a friendship between both Krishnas. Then, after finishing the dance, you leave my Krishna in my house and come back here with your Krishna." Prompted by Krishna, Radharani said, "My dear mother, you are telling us to take our Krishna to your house, but we are feeling scared. If both Krishnas are dancing, then how are we to tell which is your Krishna, which is ours? Your Krishna may become exchanged with our Krishna." Mother Jasoda laughed to hear this and said, "That happens, then what is the problem? Both are the same in their qualities." Radharani said, "No, that's not correct. Your Krishna can never be equal in qualities with our Krishna. Your son is a cowherd boy who was grazing cows in the forest the whole day. He does not have any knowledge of love, prema tattva. But our Krishna is an incomparable jewel among all the Purushas. He is Purusha Ratna and Purushottama. So many yogis, rishis, munis, jnanis, dhyanis are worshipping his lotus feet. Our Krishna has killed so many demons. He has corrected the mistake of Brahma, the creator of the universe." Mother Jasoda replied, "My son has also performed all these activities. All the Vrajbasis know about this. When my son was only 3 days old, he killed Putana, a demon. Then he killed Shakatasura and Trinavartasura. Everyone knows that all these activities are the activities of Yasoda Nandana." Radharani said, "By this discussion we may create a quarrel. Later you will understand which Krishna has greater qualities. For now, however, we should put a mark on the head of our Krishna so that they will not be confused." Saying so, Radharani put one spot of sandalwood pulp on the forehead of Krishna. The round white mark on the blue forehead of Krishna looked like the moon rising from behind a blue mountain. Radharani said to all her Sakis, "Now you'll all see, there is a mark of Chandan on the forehead of my Krishna. You should keep your eyes on our Krishna so that he does not get lost." Then Radharani and her Sakis, along with their Krishna, went to the house of Yashoda. Yashoda saw her Krishna was still sleeping on the bed inside the house. She woke him and brought him to dance with the second Krishna. When they danced together, the two Krishnas looked like two sparkling Nilamanis. Everyone was surprised to see their dance. Never had they witnessed such a wonderful event. Then, all of a sudden, Yashoda's Krishna merged into the body of the gopis' Krishna and became one form. Then the dance was finished. Radharani and her Sakis prepared to leave along with their Krishna. Mother Yashoda did not find her Krishna. She started to cry. "Where is my Krishna? Where did my Krishna go? You're taking away your Krishna. You must give me back my Krishna." Radharani said, "Where can we find your Krishna? Our life and soul, this Krishna, is not your son. Just see, on the forehead of our Krishna is the mark of Chandan I placed there." Mother Jasoda said, "All of you were making them dance. You must have hidden my Krishna somewhere. This is your trick, Radha. You have so many tricks." Radharani said, "This courtyard is surrounded by a wall. Both Krishnas were dancing here. How can we know where one of them went? We have not left this place ourselves." Then Yashoda, with great pity in her voice, said, "I do not have 5 or 7 children. I have only one child. He is a wealth of happiness for both his father and mother. He is like the helping stick of an old man. Oh, Radha, my life air is about to leave my body. Please give me back my Krishna and save my life. I'm catching your feet. Please give me back my Krishna. From today, I'll become your maidservant." When Krishna heard Yashoda speak like this, he looked upon Radharani and smiled, indicating something to her with a slight movement. Radharani said, "You are the queen of Braja. You are my elder, my worshipable mother. Why are you catching my feet? Is it not a great offense on my part that you are catching my feet? Why are you speaking these bad words to me?" Mother Jasoda said, "Please bring back my son as soon as possible. Then you'll be free from all offenses. There will be no sin on your part," Radharani said. "But how can I bring him? Where shall I go to search for him?" When Yashoda heard this from Radharani, she started to cry and spoke very pathetically. "I will not maintain my life any longer without my Nilamani." Saying this, Yashoda Devi fainted and fell on the ground. It seemed that she was giving up her life. Radharani looked upon Krishna and said, "What to do now? Your mother, who was holding you in her womb, is dying in front of you. Please tell me what to do now." Krishna said, "You need not be worried. My mother is not going to die." Radharani went to Yashoda and spoke in her ear, "Krishna's mother, Yashoda, wake up and arise. Your Krishna has come back." As soon as Mother Yashoda heard the name Krishna, immediately she woke up and said, "Oh, Srimati, where is my Krishna?" Radharani replied, "Your son Krishna has become tired by dancing with our Krishna. He has gone to his bedroom and is sleeping there on his bed." Yashoda had full faith that Radharani never spoke a lie. She immediately went to Krishna's bedroom and found Krishna sleeping there on his bed. Nandarani Yashoda picked up her son with great affection and embraced him, kissing him again and again. All the Sakis left for their respective houses. Thus Krishna established Radharani's greatness. Nice pastime. Okay. There we go. Almost done. Srimati Radharani is Krishna's Purna Shakti and Para Shakti. Here's We heard yesterday from Adi Lila chapter 4, some verses. Here's verse number 96. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shaktiman Dvi Vastu Beda Nai Shastra Paraman. Shri Radha is the full power, and Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power. The two are not different, as evidenced from the revealed scriptures. Different, but not different. And Srimati Radharani says to Narada Muni, this is from Padma Purana, and here's the Sanskrit of the verse. Aham cha lalita devi radhika ya chagiyate aham cha vasudevakyo nityam kama kalatmakaha satyam yoshit sarupaham yosich chaham sanatani aham cha lalita devi pum rupa krishna vigraha avayor antaram nasti satyam satyam hi narada. Translation: the one who is called Radhika is I am also known as Lalita. I am also the eternal Kama Kalatmaka, or wife, of Vasudeva. I am really Ramani Swarup. I am Sanatani Ramani, eternal lady. I am Lalita, and I am also Krishna in the male form. Oh, Narada, I'm telling you the truth, that there is no difference between me and Krishna. Difference, non-difference. The pleasure potency and the possessor of the pleasure potency, they're a good team. They have two forms, but they're one entity. You remember that from yesterday? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shakti Asmat Eka Atmana Bhuvi Pura Deha Beda. Deha Beda, two forms, but one entity. It sounds like a contradiction. It's just transcendental reality. This is the end of this Sunday lecture about Radharani's childhood pastimes and a little bit more about her relationship and identity with Krishna. Different. Shakti and Shaktiman are not identical, but Shakti and Shaktiman are not separable. So the next class we're going to have, I guess that'll be tomorrow, is Merciful Pastimes of Srimati Radharani. I'm really looking forward to that one because she's most merciful, as we heard yesterday. So let's see if there's some discussion. Srimati Radharani.
Hare Krishna devotee, whoever in the online and in the temple room, if you have any questions, please. Maharaj, will you accept questions?
Sure. Oh, look at all those people over there.
Yeah.
Can you see? Could you see all this? Oh, fantastic. Okay. Anything? Okay. You have something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Maharaj, when we understand, in Bhagavatam and the Rasa Leela especially.
I'm listening.
Yeah. The Rasa Leela especially, so we understand what gopis are not who, but what gopis are, and what exactly Radha means.
Yes.
But especially in Bhagavatam altogether, the Radha is missing
There's others
as a
missing?
character. Radha.
Her name is missing.
No, Radha as a character.
I'm
As a
missing.
character is missing the whole Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Her name is not mentioned, but she's indicated.
Where? So, okay, let me finish my.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Finish my
I just be very clear what your. I want to be clear what your question is.
Yeah, I want to be much more clearer when I'm asking.
Okay.
To,
Thank you.
so, in the Bhagavatam altogether, so no other characters were, like Radha character. Right? Radha is like hidden, or it's not clearly mentioned in the Bhagavatam altogether. But any other character in the Bhagavatam, right from all the avatarams, everything included, is clearly given. That said, so when we understand Ras Leela, we can really understand what Radha is. But when we say Radha Tattvam, it is a Tattvam. But when I'm hearing from yesterday and today, we're trying to give Radha a human form there, that she is daughter of somebody, and
I'm not trying to anything like that.
what I'm is listening.
But be careful.
yesterday.
Your choice of words is important. So if I interrupt you because your choice of words may need some correction. So we don't try to give her, a form. She has an eternal form.
Yeah. What I'm trying to, what I was hearing.
I'm editing.
I'm not trying to, yeah. So when I hear that, so what I understood as Radha is totally different from what I'm hearing from past 2 days. So the Ras Leela is what exactly Radha comes to me when we say Krishna is a Purushottama. So we all becomes gopis. So he is the only he around everybody. So we are all gopis here. So when we are trying to understand that part of Ras Leela, why are we trying to, what I understand, I'm not trying to tell anything, give a humanly form to Radha when it is not in the Bhagavatam itself. Am I clear here?
Semi. Let me say back what I think you're saying. Spiritually speaking, there's one Purushottama, and spiritually speaking, we're not Purushas, we're Shaktis. Jiva Shakti.
Gopis.
No. Jiva Shakti.
I mean, when I say Purushottama, he's a Purusha, and we are all the other.
You're saying gopis, but I'm not. I'm saying no. I'm saying we're another tattva. Just as he's Vishnu tattva, we're Jiva tattva. We're not gopis. We're Jiva tattva. Now let's do this. Step back from your conception, and you'll go to what you heard yesterday. And I can, there's other scriptural references besides what we said yesterday, but Radha, just as Krishna is the original personality of Godhead from whom all Vishnu Tattva forms expand, Bhagavatam makes that very clear. Similarly, Radha, it doesn't mention the term Hladini Shakti in the Bhagavatam, but she, Radha, is the Hladini Shakti of the spiritual potency of Krishna. She's the Hladini Shakti portion of the spiritual potency of Krishna. Now, where does that come from? It's not in the Bhagavatam. It's in it's in the Puranas, it's in Vishnu Purana, it's in Padma Purana, it's in the Puranas. She, by name, is the Hladini Shakti, and from her, the pleasure potency of Krishna, the other consorts of the person of the Parama Purusha or Purushottama expand. The Shaktis, the internal spiritual potency, expands from her, like the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha expand from her. The queens in Vrindavan expand from her. The gopis expand. So you and I are not gopis, We're Jiva Tattva. They're Shakti Tattva. Now let's do it again. There's a difference between Shakti Tattva and Jiva Tattva. We're not Shakti Tattvas. We're Jiva Tattva. Now, say it again. And you correct me because you think I'm wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I have been hearing from my Guruji for the past 20 years has been a little different. What I understood as Raslila is, Raslila basically when we say Radha, it's a dhara which goes outside. We all go outside and into the world and the samsara, everything. And we reverse it, it's Radha. When we say Radha, it's internal. When we close our eyes and go inside ourselves, the Krishna is inside you, in everybody. And the Radha is what when we go inside and when ourselves as gopis and everybody, we are all the opposite of Purushottama. Go inside and see and meet him inside. Inside us is Krishna. Krishna is as a tattva. He has lived 5,000, 6,000 years back. That's a different Krishna as a human form. But Krishna Tattvam as Krishna consciousness is inside us. When we go inside us, the dhara becomes Radha. And when the Radha meets Krishna inside, that is when Raslila happens. That's the dance, divine dance. That's the dance we all celebrate.
Okay. I could say back what you said, but rather than saying back what you said is not what our disciplic succession says, and our disciplic succession bases what the disciplic succession says based on Shastra, Guru Sadhu Shastra, but ultimately it's Shastra. So we're not gopis. We're not Shakti Tattva. The expansion, so we're at a stalemate because Scripture says Radha and all of the Sarup Shakti of the personality of Godhead Krishna, they're in the Shakti Tattva category. And the Shakti Tattva category is not us. We're Jiva Tattva. We're not Shakti Tattva. It's for starters. We can worship Krishna for sure. We can worship Krishna not just within the heart. We can worship Krishna eternally in Goloka Vrindavan. We can be invited as liberated jivas. We can be invited into the company of Srimati Radharani and her Shakti Tattva associates. We still remain Jiva Tattva. We don't become Shakti Tattva. We may become assistants to those eternal Nitya Siddha gopis who are eternally Shakti Tattva. Jiva Tattvas may be invited into that company. And one can not just, go back to the model that you said you've heard for 20 years. We can appreciate the eternal position of Krishna situated within the heart, that Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. Once in a day in Brahma he appears. And when he appears comes, his potencies, Radha and others. So the basis for these kinds of statements, there's ample scriptural support for these kinds of statements. We can come to the stage of becoming accepted amongst the gopis by the Nitya Siddha gopis. But it's not just a matter of going inside your heart and something happens and then you become a gopi. It's not like that. I mean, I at least, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the abundant scriptural references coming from his associates explaining all of this, what I said is the picture. It has this scriptural support. So I'm interested in scriptural support and the way things really are. So I don't think it's going to be very fruitful to do a back and forth between what our acharyas based on scripture say and what the person you've been hearing for 20 years says. I don't know if it's going to bear any fruit to go over it again. It's what you said is different than what I've understood for 50 years, and you've heard for 20 years, and it's different from what I've heard, what I said. So we're at a stalemate.
No, yeah, thank you, Guruji. And I'm just quoting Bhagavatam and the Rasalila.
Okay, well, you're going to quote. You say you're quoting Bhagavatam and Rasalila, but who are the personalities who are taking part in Rasalila? It's not just you and me going inside our hearts. That's not that's not what Rasalila in the Bhagavatam is. It's a pastime of Krishna with his eternal associates. And they're Shakti Tattvas, not Jivas. Now, there's some detail where it is according to the scriptures. I can give an example or two. It is according to scripture that Jivas can become accepted in the company of the eternal associates, the Nitya Siddha Gopis who are Shakti Tattvas. It's possible. There's details and details with scriptural reference. There's details and details of the rishis that met Lord Ramachandra and wanted, in their transcendental mood of love, to enter into a transcendental, not a mundane, a transcendental conjugal relation with Ram, who said, no, in my next incarnation, I have only one wife. In my next incarnation, I will appear as Krishna, and you can become involved in conjugal relation. So there's a group of the gopis called Rishi Chari gopis, who were not Shakti Tattva, but Jiva Tattva, who became mercifully engaged by the eternally perfected gopis in service to Krishna in that way. Now, it's possible. But it's not that, it's not as you described from scripture, and at least, from the understanding that I've received based on scripture through disciplic succession. So it's different than what you've heard for 20 years. I got it. Anyone else? You have something? No, just scratching. Okay. Okay, we'll end there. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful